Like,
Nah, you need a gray screen.
Não gosto nem queijo nem presunto.
You're vegan?
Não.
Oh.
Don't like
I
them.
just figured I would ask. No present. Chouriço?
Dentro do caldo verde, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Hopefully you eat it with a spoon and not a fork like this guy.
You eat it with a fork?
Yeah.
but there's reasoning behind my thinking.
Tell her the theory.
Yeah.
So, usually, my reasoning is that use the fork to get all the solids out. Right? It's easier because you could just take it out and then you just drink the rest. That's my reasoning, because by that time it's cooler.
You drink the rest?
Yeah.
He puts it in a cup with a straw.
Alright, not in a cup.
Basically
Relax,
it's like a miso soup.
Take it easy.
He puts a scoop of protein powder in there.
You're totally getting judged. Just so you know.
Whatever.
Dude, Fernando Daniel's gonna watch this. He'd be like, "This guy's bro."
You really went on an interview with these guys that eat before? Come on.
What's this guy talking about?
No.
That thing's funny.
It's hilarious. They have.
You don't find it funny?
They have
Or you find it funny?
I find it funny.
Oh.
They have jelly beans.
Okay.
The ones that smell that taste.
Oh, that tastes bad.
Their reactions is hilarious.
Yeah, they sell it here too.
Yeah. I actually took beans for them to continue because. And I got like the weirdest like flavors ever.
Oh God.
And the other one is like carta e não desafios. Like if they are.
Right.
Right. Então they put this thing and they start singing it. These desafios. It's like.
Oh,
It's the buzzer. Yeah, I've seen this.
Wow.
I gotta check that out. That's cool. All right, ready?
Welcome back. Welcome back to the second episode of Tasca. Welcome back to the third episode of Tasca Lusa. As you see, we have the original Joey. Another episode of Tasca Lusa. Welcome back to another episode of Tasca Lusa. Welcome back to another episode of.
Welcome back. Another episode. Or how it says, I say it as a Russian fucking. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Another episode of. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Not anymore.
Bem-vindo a Tasca Lusa. Welcome back. Another episode of Tasca Lusa.
Let us hear it, Marco.
Welcome back.
He's back.
Welcome back. Welcome back, baby. Welcome back. We're back, baby. We finally got João back, that cocksucker. He's fucking out.
Dude, relax. It's been 2 weeks. It hasn't been that long.
Haven't fucking seen you in fucking God knows how long, but.
Tinha saudades.
Welcome back.
I warned you guys.
Welcome back. Welcome back, baby.
Guess who's back?
Take it away, baby.
Welcome back, baby. I'm just fucking good. What? Welcome back. Baby Nilo, we're back. I'm back, or mostly me. Welcome back. I'm back again. 2 weeks in a row. Welcome back, baby. Joey, shut up. Welcome back, baby. We're back again from vacation as we got people coming in and fucking just yelling in the background. Look tired. We're here, myself. For myself, Marco, we have Aníbal, Joey, and João, and we have a very, very special guest. If you'd want to introduce yourself.
I'm Julia Machado.
So, Julia, obviously you're a little nervous, I could tell. So let's just give you a runway of who we are. We obviously are fans of yours because you bursted so fast within the fame that you got from the Voice Kids and Eurovision. And to be honest, we are fans, and our families are fans of yours. I know my family voted for you from here and stuff like that. Joey, you want to say something nice?
No, it's just no, because like
You gotta say something.
the Voice Kids, bro. Like here, it gives on like what 4 o'clock on a Sunday. So like after dinner or like after like Sunday lunch, like my in-laws made like a point like every year to watch. You know, it's just and like João, like my girl's father, he's always like that person that's I forgot the fadista that one year. I forgot his name.
O Simão.
Simão.
Si.
Yo, like from the get-go, he loved Simão. Right? And like every time Simão went on, bro, it was like, no, este vai ganhar, este vai ganhar, este vai ganhar. And he kept watching.
Simon's way of doing it is like completely
different
dude. Than everybody else. He's very like, because he's from Alentejo, I think. And,
I think so, yeah.
And he's very like proper, and his voice is super deep too.
Yeah, dude.
So for you to get adapting, and once you fall in love, you fall in love. And I think Portugal, you grew up loving him as he went.
I also think because it was a cultural thing too, right? Because the Voice Kids, they're kids obviously, and like they're singing these newer songs or these Disney songs, and then you have a kid, right? And like even the judges are like, "This don't sound like a kid, sing fado."
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
So what was your train of thought when you're like, all right, I'm gonna what made you sign up, or in this case, your family make you sign up?
Well, ever since I was 6 years old, I've always been singing. The first song that I learned was Part of Your World. It's something that I enjoy doing, and it's the way that I can express myself and just be truly and tell my stories through the songs and the way that I sing it. And it's like music is a worldwide way of speaking. And it's something that I just enjoy doing. I fell in love since I was 6, but even before, I would always sing around the house. I'd have videos of me with the Hello Kitty karaoke just dragging back and forth. I had the microphone in my hand, and the Hello Kitty was just like bopping all over my toys on the floor. And I just kept on singing back and forth. And I have videos of me singing and then them yelling at me, my parents yelling at me to stop singing for once.
Mom, can you confirm that?
Yeah, because you have some of these videos on Instagram. I've noticed you post a Part of Your World was one of them as you were a kid, because I was obviously doing my research for this interview. And you could tell you're maybe like 6 years old going back and forth with it. And we'll show you guys as we go. We'll post our Instagram info below or anything. But after that, so you decided to go to Portugal for the summer and sign up, or do you previously have to sign up before the show even starts?
So it was a surprise for me because I wasn't expecting them to really sign me up. But every single year, I always go to Portugal during the summer. And every single year, I'd always tell my parents, can you please sign me up for one of the singing competitions? Can you please sign me up? And my mom was always like, she's only going to sign me up when she believes that I'm ready. Because not only ready with my voice, but ready mentally, because the yes is very easy to hear, but the no is not as easy to hear. And my mom felt that when I was ready to hear the no, just in case, because sometimes we have to prepare for the worst, just in case if the worst comes, we're ready for it. And my mom thought that I was finally ready this year, well, last year. And that's when she signed me up, and that's when we got the news a couple of months before the show actually started.
It started in December of 2022.
Wow.
Jeez.
So the show starts, obviously it gets released that year. Do you go like first thing in January to start like the pre-recorded shows?
The process, the way it works is you submit the application,
Mm-hmm.
and if they answer, it's a yes. Then you have to go to Lisbon or Porto. The only date I could go, it was during Christmas, so that I would not miss work. So we left here Christmas Day.
Wow.
Wow, that's dedication.
Cheap flight.
On the 25th, landed on the 26th, and she would have the audition on the 27th.
Wow.
No sleep, no nothing.
Not really.
All jet lagged.
Wow. Hotel in Lisbon was kids everywhere.
And it was crazy because the next day we got the notification, well, the text saying that I could come back for the second tryout. And that wasn't supposed to happen because it was supposed to be like a week or two. It was only going to be in January where we would find out if I made it to the second casting. But the next day right away they asked if I could be at the same hotel at this time, like right after.
So the process in between it is you got tryouts, and then if you pass the 2 tryouts, you go to the blind auditions?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the tryouts, the mentors aren't there. We don't really know who the mentors are until after the tryouts.
You don't know who the mentors are.
It's like that you won't like pick
That's
their
kind
songs.
of exciting too,
Yeah.
because like now you won't know who's there and whatnot. Yeah, because I remember when you came in, you told a story about, because obviously you were there, but it was mostly your grandparents that live in Portugal now.
Yeah.
So are they fully retired? Did they come here and then retire to Portugal, or they always
So,
lived in Portugal?
my mom is the only member of our family that left Portugal
Cool.
to live in America because at the time where my mom was looking for the jobs in Portugal, there were no jobs there. So she came here to look for a better life, and she got an invitation to work here at this Portuguese club to teach Portuguese. And my mom was very curious to find out Portuguese school in America, that's new. And technically we do have family here, but they're not blood related. But ever since my mom came here, they helped her with her first house. They helped her get installed. They were always there for us. Even to this day, their daughter is like a sister to me, even though she's like so much older than me. But we all got so close. But my mom and my dad were the only ones who came from Portugal to here from both of my families. And we have no family here. My grandparents live there. So it was kind of hard for my mom, but once my mom has an idea in her head, she will always follow it no matter what.
Sounds like that took upon yourself as well with all these competitions and stuff like that. Go ahead.
So, when you basically got that notification about to come back the second day, were you already kind of more like, all right, I feel like I have a better chance now to kind of like go to the actual like big stage, basically?
For me, it's like I think the most negative way possible. And no matter what, even if it's a guaranteed yes, I will always still think like there's just like this little chance of it being a no. So during that time, I was like, what if I don't make it? What if this and that? Even during the whole entire show, I was always doubting myself. But I feel like I've gotten better with that, because the confidence is also needed when you're going to sing, because no matter what, if you don't sing with confidence and by feeling the song, there is no story to tell, and people won't truly pay attention to you. So I've gotten better at that. And but with the tryouts coming back, the second tryouts and the last ones, I was like, I'm gonna give it my best shot, but if it doesn't happen, it didn't happen for a reason. But it did happen.
Now, during the first tryouts until the blind audition, did you perform the same song, or?
So I had to bring 3 different songs, and I decided to bring 3 different types of styles. So I brought one fado,
Smart.
kind of. It was a Portuguese song, then a slow song, and then a Disney song. I sang Always Remember Us This Way, Lisboa Menina Moça, and Part of Your World. And then they would pick which songs they would like to hear, and then the next following tryouts, we would have to sing the same songs, but for different people this time. And then they would tell us that we would make it. Then they would pick the song that we would sing, and then they would cut the songs like that. It'd be a short version, so the program wasn't even longer.
I'm like trying to like picture Lisboa Menina Moça with your voice, and it sounds pretty cool, to be honest. So after obviously you did the blind audition, your coach was, at the time it was Aurea Carolão Barba Tinoco, which she's probably your height, and Fernando Daniel, and you ended up choosing Aurea.
Yes.
At that time, what was going through your head? Because you obviously got 3 chair turns, right?
Yeah, I got 3.
It was Barba Tinoco, Aurea, and Fernando Daniel.
No,
Carolão turned.
Yeah.
All right. What was going through your head when they turned?
I'm going to be honest, I only truly noticed when they turned after the song was over, because I was just so into the song, and I was like so into like the vibe. Because for me, when I get concentrated in a song, I'm just like in the song. Like my mom, when I'm like in the song in the car, like screaming my head off or just singing, my mom has a phone call or she like interrupts me, I get so mad. Because I'm like so focused in the song that I don't notice anything around me. Like I'm always singing 24/7. If you're speaking to me and I'm singing, 2 minutes later, I don't understand what you're saying. I never heard what you were saying. But I only truly noticed after I was done singing. Even though I was singing to Carlão, I didn't really process that he had turned.
Oh wow! So because he was the first turn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carlão was first.
That's what I thought. That's awesome. And then what drove you to choose Aurea?
I'm going to be honest, when I went there, I didn't know any of the mentors, but I kind of did some research before going after they released the mentors. And Aurea was the only one that sang in English. So I went straight for her due to the fact that she would sing in English, and I just liked her type of style of music too.
Yeah. So what I've noticed in your blind edition was obviously part of your world, but your voice was very Broadway. I don't know how to say this in English.
Theatrical.
Theatrical.
That's the one.
See, we help people here.
Thanks, buddy. So he was very Broadway. The way you expressed, the way you were going with the moves, certain notes that you would hit. He was like, she could be in Little Mermaid and Broadway's tomorrow. And Aurea does that as well. So that's what I thought it drove you to get her, because you obviously have Fernando Daniel that has sung in English as well. Tinoco. Barbara also speaks in English, but she's very like, she does a little bit of everything as well. And then Carlão is Carlão, legend. So Aurea did make sense. And then you ended up going to the blind edition. But before that, Fernando Daniel did sing in English most of his time at The Voice as well.
Yeah.
Because he sang, I believe, 2 Adele songs, which you did.
He has the most views. The When We Were Young has the most views in The Voice in the whole world.
Yeah.
No, he killed that song. He like, it's hard to, like, I'm not saying he outshined Adele. Let's be honest, right? But like it's
hard to do that.
It's close.
And especially a guy singing
Yes.
an Adele song is incredible. I love all of their songs. I love Barbatino's songs, Carlão's. I love his style too. I love Fernando Daniel's songs. I practically know all of his songs now.
Yeah.
Same thing with Aurea. But I feel like I only actually got to know them due to the Voice Kids, or else I wouldn't have known who they were till this day.
Did you have a lot of time to work with them? Because, like, obviously what someone sees on TV is one thing and behind the scenes is another.
Yeah.
Because everything is so rushed, it's hard to enjoy it sometimes. You, as a 12-year-old at the time, did you feel very rushed in the process of everything? Or do they... Because does RTP try to, like, motivate you to continue or try to respect the boundaries within a child and obviously the family?
Yeah. I would say with Aurea, we worked a lot, and I was only with her for the batalhas, but just because, like, in the batalhas, she did help a lot. Whenever I had, like, a question or anything, she would always be there. But then after the batalhas, Fernando Daniel saved me, and Fernando Daniel did anything possible for us and the kids on his team, and he just made us feel so comfortable, and we were just be ourselves around him because everything was perfectly fine. He would always attend the practices. He would always push for us to be there. No matter what, if something was wrong with any of the kids from his team, he would always go there and he would fix it because he wanted us to feel comfortable. Like, for example, in the finals, he came from a show, 2 o'clock in the morning. He was texting my mom about a situation that happened to resolve it. Then afterwards, the next following day, he slept like a couple of hours, 8 o'clock sharp. We were in Lisbon a couple of hours before his show, and we were just working, and he was always there to help us whenever we had a question. And it was like He'd treat us like we were one of his kids. And if we felt uncomfortable with the clothes that we were wearing, anything, he would always fix it for us.
Oh. So he was definitely like comforting, especially like a mentor like that. Because you sang, was it Adele that you sang for the battles?
No, I sang one from
I forgot what song you sang.
Christina Aguilera,
Christina?
yeah.
Well, that's tough too. That is tough because you had two great rivals,
Yeah.
I guess rivals, in that battles. So you got stolen by Fernando Daniel, and then obviously worked for him for until you won.
Yeah.
Which is great. What was your favorite song that besides?
I would say either A Million Dreams or having the opportunity to sing with Fernando Daniel.
You're my favorite addition. Obviously, it takes a lot of courage to sing two Adele songs, which you did, and that's no joke. The vocals, she does everything and everything to that voice, and then you sang Casa and you sang A Million Dreams. A Million Dreams, I could hear it still, like how you enunciated the words. Obviously, speaking English as your first language does help a lot.
It's like someone trying to say theatrical.
Yeah,
It's all right.
I cannot do it. But it was very encouraging to do that. And then when you sing Casa, I think him like holding your hand as you guys were singing was very comforting, and I felt like he was literally locking eyes with you just for you not to even look away to the audience, because I think that would probably make you a little more nervous than you probably already were,
Yeah.
especially being in the finals with 4 other
Yeah.
people. How did it feel like singing with such a big star and like obviously singing to the whole Portugal, because everyone stopped and watched the Voice
Yeah.
Kids?
I loved it. If I had the chance to do it again, I would do it again. And I sang also with him in his concerto em Tomar. It's incredible. He has an amazing voice. I can listen to it the whole entire day because his songs are just amazing. And the way that he sings with so much passion. And eu vou dizer isto em português. Quando nós estávamos a dar as mãos, chegava uma certa parte que estava quase a chegar ao fim da música e ele estava a puxar por mim, because I was still like tense and nervous because we were the first act of the night.
Right.
And I was like, okay, we're right away, we're first up. I'm scared. I still haven't sang my own song by myself. And I was always the last one to sing no matter what. And I hated it so much. So he was trying to comfort me, and that at the end I finally like loosened up a little bit. But I felt like him giving me his hand and like being there just helped a lot more.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing working with him. And he would always, for example, in this song Gaza, we sang it. He made me sing the song first to see which parts I would shine more, and he would hold himself back so I could shine even more to show why people should vote for me. And it's just incredible.
Smart. It's smart.
Now, I have a question going back to that coaching thing. Like, when you pick your coach, what do you like work on when it comes to like, if you have a question about something, what would be like the question that you would ask? Like, what part should I go higher, low? What does that entail when it comes to like coaching?
So when it comes to coaching, we sing the songs to them whenever we meet up. Then we would sing the song. Then if they didn't like any parts, they would change it. Or, for example, my objective whenever I sing a song is to make it my own.
Okay.
I don't want to be on stage and trying to imitate other artists, because then
It becomes karaoke.
yeah.
Well,
and,
you also want to build your identity within the song.
and being a singer isn't being like on stage doing karaoke.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do covers, but covers is different from karaoke.
Yeah.
Karaoke singing exactly like it, but covers is making it into your own, making it your own. It's like you're telling the same story, but
Yeah.
in your own way.
Okay.
And it's like, for example, we would discuss what the story was. Especially me and my mom, we would sit down whenever we would sing like all in a group, like all of them, and especially like with the other artists that were invited. Me and my mom would sit down. We would discuss everything. My mom would explain to me what the whole song was about, so I can truly know what I'm singing. And then if I had any questions, I would always ask my mentors or one of the workers from RTP if I need to do it this way or if I can do it this way.
So now you're singing with a live band the whole show, right? Is it, so like rehearsals, is it with the full band or are you, because like it seems like there's sometimes they'll show you guys rehearsing and you're in like a small room. So like, I don't know, have you ever performed with a band like that before? Was like your first, I would think you being such a young age, you've never sang to like live music like that. Like, so the question I'm trying to ask is did you find it easy to be able to sing how you sang and then singing to like a background, if that makes sense, how I'm wording it?
For me, my first time ever singing with a live band was with my music teacher, Miss Faith. She invited me to sing Valerie at the beach with her whole band, and that was incredible. I fell in love. And then the videos that they would show us like in a little small room would be us with our vocal coaches, where we would sing the song, we would do the vocal warm-ups, we would practice the song once or twice. They would ask us if we'd be ready to go on to the stage and practice with the live band. And every single time, no one would be missing. The mentors would only be gone if they truly had something really going on. But for example, my mentor was always there. He was always there to see if we were comfortable no matter what. Even if he had to go late somewhere, he would always still be there no matter what.
And so obviously Fernando Daniel saved you. Now, was it a shock? Did you think you were going home? Like how, like, because obviously now we're learning now that there was 2 auditions before you obviously went to the blind audition. So like did you know something was happening? Or was like everything live on the hour Fernando Daniel saved?
Everything was it was starting from the galas, everything was live.
Okay.
Nas batalhas, everything was technically live for us, but for you guys it was like
Pre-recorded.
Yeah, it was pre-recorded, but we never knew what anything was going to happen. My mom was here, she was in the middle of class. And she was like dying of nerves. And she was like, what's happening? What's happening? And no one would answer her. And then afterwards, she would be like dying of like nerves and everything. And then whoever didn't pass, there were like 2 rooms. This is like the stage. There was a room here and there was a room here. I was in this room. You go and then your family meets up with you. We hear the 3, 2, 1. And then all of a sudden we hear a boosh. That's probably one of the most nerve-wracking sounds that can ever happen in my life.
I can imagine.
And I was like, okay, so one of us is going to get saved, and it's most likely not going to be me. I was already thinking like that. My dad was holding me tight, like telling me everything's going to be okay. I've never seen my dad so calm in my life. I'm like here crying with nerves and like everything. I'm literally shaking here. He's like, it's okay. If anything happens, everything happens for a reason. And if it doesn't happen, it didn't happen for a reason. My dad was calm. I feel like if my mom was there, we would both be crying at this moment, like just like scared to death. But then afterwards, all of a sudden, my grandma starts screaming. We're like, what's going on? And then we see Fernando Daniel's colorful blouse. And I was like, oh. And at that day, all of my friends from Portuguese school there, because I started studying there, they all went to support me. They were all screaming my name for him to pick me. And then all of my friends were screaming. And there was like this little video recording of it. And like the moment that they saw my face drop, all of the kids from my school started screaming. Everybody started screaming in there. And then my grandma was the first one to notice. She ran up to him right away, giving him a hug. And then I went after. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened.
That's wholesome, honestly. Speaking of, now that you said you were going to Portugal there, how was the transitioning within like school here and school there? Because like when I first came here,
You're probably the smartest one there.
Oh,
Here.
absolutely not. Well, yes, yes, actually. Just because of like school there is so much more advanced than here in certain aspects, but it was the bilingual concept because thankfully I was in a bilingual class, but obviously I'm assuming your mom first taught you how to speak Portuguese at home.
I always ask her this question, like at least twice a month, is what's...
She's giving you a weird face right now.
What's my first language that I ever spoke? Was it, like, my first word, was it English or Portuguese? I guess it was Portuguese.
There you go. You have to come here to get an answer. No, it's not normally, obviously, Joey, as a parent now, he always says, like, I'm first going to speak Portuguese to my daughter, and then, because in English, you literally learn everything.
Elas que aprender inglês vai para a escola.
That's it.
Zumba.
So for me, obviously, knowing Portuguese, the only English I knew was from, like, English classes there. So coming here and trying to adapt to it took some time. How'd you feel as obviously you're there in now a competition that is nationwide, plus trying to adapt to the school routine there? How was that?
I'm
for
not
you?
gonna lie. The first day of school, I had Físico-Química. My mom asked, so how was school today? And I said, I think that day I had gym, but then I said something about Físico-Química saying, she asked me, so how was Físico-Química? Because I had it, and I was like, the only thing that I understood was sun and moon from that whole entire thing.
Já normal.
I didn't pass with como eles dizem em Portugal, não passei com nenhuma negativa.
Yeah.
But they graded me differently because half the classes I never had, like math, they were learning something completely different.
You're learning algebra there at 12, where over here you're learning in sophomore year. Or
Actually, I have algebra this year. I have all honors
There you
classes
go.
except for one class.
you'll learn algebra there at like 12.
wow,
It's
Yeah.
wild.
But I feel like that's important. And speaking Portuguese to your kids, I feel like that's important. I feel like if I ever have kids, that's probably the main thing that I'm going to do is speak Portuguese with them. Because I see so many kids nowadays say that they're Portuguese,
And don't
but
speak
not
a
being
lick.
able to speak it. You ask them, so what's one thing from Portugal that you know? The first thing that they say, bacalhau. And I
Hell
can't
yeah,
even say
dude.
bacalhau. They don't even say it properly, and I'm
They
like,
say with the English accent, and it's
Yeah.
irritating. Yeah.
Don't you forget it.
I have nieces and nephews that don't speak like any. They'll understand it because obviously
Yeah.
their grandparents, my parents talk to them, but like I drag my daughter everywhere. My daughter goes to Rancho. My daughter speaks Portuguese. My daughter goes to a babysitter that speaks Portuguese to her. You know, so
I think it's important to never lose your tradition. Just because you don't live there doesn't mean that you should forget where you come from. And I'm proud to say that I'm Portuguese because not only is Portuguese culture beautiful in itself, the people are amazing to each other. I've noticed here, you go to somewhere and it's not so warm.
There's no culture.
Exactly.
Like,
Everybody
pride,
has their
diversity.
different culture, and I love that. And we're all so close together, but every single culture is heartwarming in their own ways. Like Portuguese people, you ask for help, they will bring 20 people with them to help you, because no matter what, you're one of them. Wherever you go, there's always going to be a Portuguese person there. And another thing that I think that is sad is that some kids aren't able to speak with their whole entire family because they don't know how to speak Portuguese, neither with their grandparents. And I feel like that's something important because me and my grandparents have a very strong connection. And I think that's important because how am I not going to be able to speak with my
Yeah.
grandparents?
It's heartbreaking if you didn't. Yeah, because even like you said, your mom came at a very young age as well, being a teacher here at the Long Branch Portuguese Club. Now, Long Branch Portuguese community, it is big, but not as many young kids like yourself may come to the club as often. Do you see that here, and what do you think could be changed here, obviously in Long Branch, that may attract more kids of your age, or even like teenager within 18,
Yeah.
20 or whatever, into the club to continue bringing the diversity that the older generation brought.
I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like nowadays people don't really care about what truly matters, and they don't really put in the effort, including my generation. I feel disappointed to say that a lot of kids, not all of them, but a lot of kids don't care about anything. If you let them, they will sit in their house all day on their phones playing video games, doing everything but doing the correct thing. And I feel like that's sad. And nowadays, the Portuguese culture has been slowly dying. And that's sad to me because living here, I enjoy it, yes, but the culture is just disappearing. You have to go so far to go to clubs that have so many people involved. And I feel like so many kids don't care anymore, and because of that, the generations that are going to come up that are going to be taking care of the club, they're going to destroy it. They're going to destroy the culture itself, because people nowadays are ashamed of where their roots come from, of how they are, because of how much people hate on each other. And it's just so sad to see how come if I'm proudly saying that I'm Portuguese, there's always going to be someone there trying to put me down,
Contradict everything.
and it's just sad to me and disappointing. How did we get this far to giving up on things that truly matter? Even school students are giving up on, and it's like, what are we gonna do when it's our generation taking care of this world? I just really hope that it changes, because the way that this is going, all the cultures are going to be dying soon.
Yeah, it's definitely worrisome. Obviously, we're definitely a lot older than you. At
It's
least
definitely one of the reasons why we started this podcast, was to like spread awareness of,
Yeah.
you know, especially
Yeah.
like
Well,
Joel's only been here since 2008, right?
6.
6, sorry, I always get that mixed up.
Man.
But like, I remember Portuguese festivals, and I remember Portuguese schools, and I remember Portuguese clubs from, you know, I am old, from the 90s and like from the early 2000s, and like we see stuff now, and it's like it's nothing to what I remember. Maybe it's because maybe I was young and I thought everything was so grand when I was younger. But like you just said, you made a good point of like what's going to happen in the next 5 or 10 years with all these Portuguese clubs. Like, who's going to take over? And it's sad enough to say that it's a lot of them aren't going to make it, because, you know, my generation was brought up in the Portuguese club because my parents didn't have anything else to do. So we would go to the Portuguese club, right? But like now it's like, all right, you want to stay home, stay home. You know, we live in a different era, unfortunately, now.
Younger kids now have extracurriculars too, where they could go to soccer, they could do sports, this and that. But it's very nice to see someone being attentive of, like, we still got Portuguese school, thankfully, to a lot of places. They still have Portuguese schools. There is still a home where obviously the Portuguese club. And like, we were watching, me and him last night, I got to his house, we were watching videos from 99, and it was midnight. Clubs were still packed. Everyone is dancing. And now you go to a club at 12 o'clock. Everyone is making their exit out of the.
If they haven't left already.
If they haven't left already, correct. So it's definitely, like, we see the diversity in. I hope we could change this around and at least help change it around, which is the diversity from how it was when we were growing up to now.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, slowing down. Hopefully, some places picked up here and there, but you obviously have Portuguese clubs shutting down because either they don't have a comissão or they don't have the people to back up the club or anything. So the trajectory, I don't know I said that either.
You actually said it right. You actually said it right. You said it right.
Of clubs, hopefully the younger generation like yourself, and hopefully we could pass that along to you and other kids like yourself to bring that back up. And you're doing a great job so far with it, like obviously speaking your native language, which again, first one Portuguese, and then you went to Portugal as a Luso-Americano descendant, and you took over the nation. Like, everyone was voting for you. Everyone was attentive on what you did with Fernando Daniel,
Yeah.
Aria, and everybody else, which led you to Eurovision as well,
Yeah.
representing Portugal, not anywhere else but Portugal. You, to those that don't know what that is Europe does competitions, singing competitions, both adults and juniors, where they represent their nation with a song or two.
It's a song.
It's one song where they represent, which will make a winner out of it, I guess. It's still on a growing process. Europe obviously makes it a bigger deal than here in the United States do, but it's broadcasted all over Europe, and you have many countries, obviously some bigger than others. But you went pretty far. Out of the many countries that you went pretty far. How was that experience compared to RTP, the Voice Kids?
So in RTP, everything was like
Something
calm and like not as stressful, but there was a difference because now I was representing Portugal. So I wasn't in the Voice Kids, I was representing me, and it was not that big of a stage. But then I go to a stage which fits like 10,000 or more. It was a really, really big stadium.
That was at Nice, right?
Yeah. And it was just wow. And I was representing Portugal, and it felt like the Olympics. We would wake up, we would get our hair and makeup done, get dressed, take photos, go around, do interviews, go to sleep, go to the hotel, take a shower, go to sleep. Same thing again the next day, but the next day we would wake up, do hair and makeup, practice music, practice everything, do interviews, change clothes, do another interview, do broadcast, do take photos around Nice to make people more aware, go to the hotel, take a shower, and it would be like this constantly. I then only like the last day, it was 2 days that kids were actually allowed to have parties, but some of the teams didn't allow the kids to really do anything else.
wow.
Like
It's trash.
they were so like on top of the kids that we only saw certain kids after the competition was over, if
Wow.
they were lucky enough to go.
They didn't want kids to be kids, and that's horrible. That's just horrible, honestly. And that's, like you said, certain countries. Was Portugal one of those? I hope not.
No, Portugal, they treated me like I was their kid. Carla, o Felipe, a Maria,
Always gotta
o
be a Maria there.
Mansu. That was the equipa that was with me, and they treated me like I was like their daughter, and it was
That's
incredible.
awesome.
They had patience for me, which is a lot of patience. And it was just incredible being with them. They treated me like I was one of their own, and they would always say, no matter what, just have fun, because the outcome,
It is what it is.
yeah.
You obviously have bigger countries, and you probably will get more votes, and which is normal.
Yeah.
But you ended up winning 13th place that day, and that also released one of your first singles.
Yeah.
Where I Belong, which
Yeah.
was written by Aurora Pinto, Fernando Daniel, and João Direitinho, which is a very known writer in Portugal as well. How was that working with someone very known, obviously, writing a song for you, someone that was 13 at the time?
I was first nervous and like a little bit skeptical because Fernanda Daniel I was already like comfortable with.
Right.
But then Aurora and João Direitinho and Twins, the one that produced the music, I was like, okay, so this is gonna be a new environment. Now it's time to see how like the way I can fit in.
Yeah.
But they're incredible. We're always talking. We're still in contact with João Direitinho. He still writes my songs too, and Aurora Pinto. They're funny. I always tell João Direitinho that he reminds me of Mr. Peabody's son. I always say that. He like it just like the personality too, and it's like it's just a match, and they're like so funny to be with. But it's just incredible to work with. And João Direitinho, Aurora Pinto, they always sit there and ask me first, what do I want to tell in my songs?
Yeah.
And then once I tell them what I want to say in my songs is when they write the lyrics, and then they show me the lyrics, and then if I'm not comfortable with the lyrics, they will change it.
So for Where I Belong, what was the message that you're trying to put out?
So Where I Belong was kind of telling my story, where I unfortunately suffered through a long period of time since first grade until seventh grade, with bullying and with very harsh people being very rude to me, to the point where it had to go to the cops once. But I wanted to show that no matter what, you shouldn't give up, because people think that bullying is something that's just, oh, you went through bullying, imagine. But so many people, unfortunately, lose hope, give up, and unfortunately, they take their own lives due to bullying. And I feel like only now it's starting to get worse, the consequences with bullying. But for it to take that long, it's sad to me, because students still now and kids to this day will like say, oh, she suffered from bullying, imagine. Why would you say that to somebody? Because you don't know what a person goes through. And this song was telling my story out there, but not unfortunately my story, but it's a story that happens around the whole entire world, whether it's cyberbullying or normal bullying or just verbally assaulting somebody for no reason. It's like, yes, you cannot, like, if you don't like a person, you don't have to say your opinion on the person. You can just leave the person alone and go throughout your day. I just believe that it's so sad, the fact that how many kids think that bullying isn't a serious thing, and they just don't care about it. And that song was my way of telling it to finally stop. And I was able to voice my story and to try to help other people, to the point where in The Voice Kids, there was a kid who sang my song on stage because he went through the same thing. And it's just so sad to me that it's always the ones who have a gift inside of them, the ones that go through like the most.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people have a tendency of being quiet, especially kids that may get bullied. Obviously, fortunately, bullying is more being aware now.
Yeah.
Fortunately and unfortunately, because people shouldn't be bullying anyone. But luckily, a lot of people speak up now more than ever on bullying. Especially like cyberbullying is a big thing still. You got, obviously, I'm sure you probably get your fair share of hate comments, or because, oh, maybe she didn't, this and that. But honestly, we phase those out. Those aren't necessary. And throughout, unfortunately, because you did get bullied, you did ended up finding a good meaning behind a great song.
Yeah.
So get inspired to write these songs and learn how to write, or traject your voice into what you sing.
With life experiences come great opportunities. If Fernando Daniel's grandfather doesn't get sick, does that song ever come out? That Hero?
No.
You know, there's always, and I love that song because especially the way he sings it is just,
Yeah.
you know,
It's my favorite song.
yes, life experiences open doors to places that you didn't expect to be.
Yeah.
You know, and kudos to you. You know, you have any other songs out? Is that the only? Is that your only single out? Are you working on anything?
My other song that came out too is Roller Coaster.
Stuck in my head every day. Literally every time I open Instagram, I hear it, and then I'll hum it throughout the day at work, and it's a very catchy tune.
Thank you. But that song is also kind of like my life experience. But this one's a more happy one, where it's like living is literally a roller coaster. You have your days where it's good days, which is the part where the roller coaster goes up, and the bad days. And at the end of the day, we
Make the
always
best out
stop
of it.
at a neutral part, and you can always just enjoy it.
I got deep.
I'll tell you what, she's more mature than us.
Yo, I was gonna ask. When you're like walking around Portugal, do people come up to you and be like, "You want to take a selfie?"
Yes, that has
that
happened
weird?
a lot, especially this year too. Whenever I walk past, people would always say, "Are you Julia?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Machado? And I'm like,
No.
"Yeah." And then
No,
afterwards
that's
they're
not me.
"Oh my God, can I take a photo with you?" I was playing volleyball with my friends, and there was these people just filming me. They didn't even say anything. They were just filming me because they noticed who I am. And it was like,
Pops up on Facebook. Julia Machado plays volleyball.
but for example, last year when I won, I was going down. I'm a fish when it comes to water. I'm always in the water. Last year I was in the water with my friends. We were like in there for like a good couple of hours to say. And my mom was like, "Okay, it's time to get out now." So she screams, instead of going over there, she screams, "Julia, come up." And when I turned, these kids like looked and they were like, "Okay, we just heard Julia." And then when I'm walking past, one of them screams Julia. I turn my head, and then they were like, "Julia Machado." And I turn my head again. They're like, "Oh my God, it's her." Like 10 or like 15 kids just all get up at once. And I'm like, "What's happening?" I start running. I hide into the Bahakas. And they were like, "Where did she go?" I'm like, "Mom, there's this whole group of kids
scared.
coming after me."
Scared.
And she was like, she starts dying laughing. She doesn't even help me. And then after she's like, they know you. And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she explains, "Well, you won the Voice Kids, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, people watch that, right?" "Yeah." And then
This guy happen
people
more
know
often
you.
now.
Is it only in Portugal, or have you gotten anybody like here to kind of notice?
Here, no. Not
No.
so much, unless I'm in Portuguese clubs where I go to sing. That's when people actually know who I am. But in Portugal is where it mostly happens. Like, we were in Fatima. We were walking down the sidewalk, and this girl, she like looks back, and then she looks back again. She turns all red. She stops. She gets really close to me, and I'm like, and she's like, and I'm like,
Hyperventilating.
Awkward.
and I just like keep on walking, and like she was like, and I was like, "What just happened?" And Mom was like,
I feel like that would be Mark on any time he met somebody famous.
What? Just not.
Start
Bro,
hyperventilating.
that was me when I met one of the bodybuilders that I follow, and I literally could not even speak. I'm like, don't even know what to say to you right now because I didn't know I was going to meet you today. So I was like, "Yeah, that's all I got, dude."
That's all I got.
I'm sorry. Did we take a picture?
When I met João Pinto in Boston when they played Brazil, that was pretty cool too. It's just like you see that person growing up, or you see that person on TV. You never expect anyone to like. I guess as you grow up, you don't expect people to like, make a big deal out of
Yeah.
you, and then from from one moment to the other, you're just like, "Oh my God, I got my own entourage now."
Have you
"Yeah."
ever had
And-
I don't know, just random almost like TMZ type of people like in the background taking pictures of you? Like if you went out to lunch or something, and like you just see like media just come out of nowhere.
Kind of that has happened, where I was at the beach playing volleyball with my friends, and there was this kid just like filming me. That's the thing that I was just saying.
Yeah.
And it was like, I had this conversation with my mom because I was like, there's a difference in between because I was in my bikini just playing with my friends. There's a difference in between when you ask for a photo or a video or just anything, but then after just filming somebody without their consent, casually at the beach just with their friends in a bikini.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lack of respect that people cross when they meet someone. I'm not gonna say that I'm famous.
Yeah.
I
You're
want
well known.
to get.
You're well known.
I'm well known, but it's like hearing the stories that artists have to say. Like they have to go surround, like Fernando Daniel, he surrounds himself with a tent and an umbrella so people won't notice him. It's like there's a difference in between when an artist is singing and is in a concert. You can ask for pictures, you can take pictures, but then at
They're
the
human.
beach, it's like
They're
you
a
have to
person, too.
respect that at the end of the day. No matter what, we're all human beings, and like for example, there is this singer that they found out where she lives now.
Oh, God.
They follow their parents around just to find out where she's living. It's like
That's
people will
weird.
go to the extent, and it's like it's a lack of security too.
You're
for
still a
other
human
people.
being. Yeah, I remember a story where Daniel was in Algarve.
Yeah.
He did an interview, a podcast actually, and he literally goes, "I was in Algarve with my daughter and my wife, and this lady came to me, tried to harass me to get a picture, and he's just trying to enjoy some time." And he was very respectful. He goes, "Oh, neste momento não estou com a minha família, mas antes de me ir embora, venha ter comigo que depois eu tiro a foto." And she literally goes, "Oh, that's different," and like starting harassing him and like saying he's not the person he makes out to be or anything. But at the end of the day, they're human beings. Like, let them be with their family and however they want to spend their time with as well.
And
There's a time and a
especially
place.
Him being a singer and having to do concerts all over Portugal, and now he's starting to leave Portugal to go to other places, is taking time away from him with his daughter and his wife. And it's like the fact that you're going to sit here and harass a man because he wants to be with his family and asking for a little bit of respect is insane
Absurd,
to me.
yeah.
That's wild.
Now,
No. Go ahead.
me? My next or you next?
No, go bye.
Now, have you ever thought of going into a different competition after the Voice Kids?
Yes. I've been asking my mom to put me in the voice here in America, but she
That's what I
said
was gonna
that's
ask.
enough of competitions.
Well, I was gonna ask, 'cause, maybe like the Voice Kids of Portugal has like a non-compete where you can't do anything for like a certain amount of time.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, that's what because I definitely think here in America is so much tougher, and in Portugal you have family where you could stay. Here you would have to go to LA, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's so much. There's so much behind it because unfortunately here in America everything is business, and it's on a time schedule frame, and like I think that could either frustrate you, especially you at 14.
Yeah.
Could frustrate you enough where you won't even be able to have a childhood or
Yeah.
like especially now in high school. I'm sure you're gonna want to enjoy as much as possible because college obviously comes up after, and you can
Yeah.
make your own thing. But you could do like theaters and like perform, or you could do like I'm sure you have like a theater class in school, which that could adapt onto your singing. Now that which will leads to my next question: where do you see yourself coming up, and as an artist, do you see yourself doing more teatro or actually singing? How do you make yourself to be as an artist?
For me, I really want to pursue singing itself. And if here and then I would like to do theatrical, I would love to because I also like doing that a lot. But what I want, my main goal is to sing where Adele's singing right now in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Adele is doing that. Jennifer
I'm dying
Lopez.
to see her.
You should go see now because isn't she taking a massive break?
I think so.
She's going on a massive hiatus. She said
Like 15 years without
Yeah.
singing.
It's amazing. Now she literally has a glass of wine, and she's just singing out to an orchestra, and like everybody loves that show. So obviously you guys hear the noise from the background. But before we go, I do want to ask you: do you have any other projects coming up? I know you got some exciting news you might want to share. Take the floor.
Yeah. There's a new song coming out, which is The Girl Next Door, which is a collaboration, a featuring with Sandra Valero, the one that represented Spain in the Eurovision. She's saying I love you for Spain for the Eurovision, and I'm doing a featuring with her. And then I'm starting to write my own songs. I just finished writing a whole English song. During like my experience with the beach, and we found a producer here, which we're gonna start working with.
That's so exciting.
Nice.
When is the song being released?
September 26th.
So that's a
Around the
Thursday.
corner.
That's a Thursday, guys. So watch on YouTube.
Are you sure that's a
Sorry.
Thursday?
How did you know that was a Thursday?
Yeah, but
Because
that was really
28th
random.
There's an event on the 28th. That's a Saturday. Smart.
Our producer just gave us a thumbs up. It is a Thursday, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a Thursday. That will be on, I'm assuming, Spotify and iTunes.
On all the platforms.
All platforms. So, guys, do you want to shout out your Instagram?
Plug
and-
yourself.
You can follow me on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, all the platforms, Julia Machado PT, and the same thing on Apple Music if you just put Julia Machado, Roller Coaster, Where I Belong, and coming up, The Girl Next Door. You can always hear it in all the music platforms too.
You got anything? Guess not. Joey?
Wait, wish I could sing.
So, like, the last thing, right? Because obviously we had a little conversation before the cameras rolled, and my wife, girlfriend, whatever people want to call her at home, still cannot get over the fact that you did not pick Danielle when the chair turned, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, great decision because now he saves you and you win. Looking back, do you wish that you picked Danielle off the rip?
I feel like I would do the same thing because,
It brought you where you are.
yeah, I would never change my choice because
We were watching my Kathy was like, "Who the fuck is she picking?" I'm sorry,
man.
that was the
No
first.
way.
Watch
Sorry,
your
all right.
effing mouth,
That was
young man.
We were at the end. I've been holding them in. I'm sorry.
good.
But,
Unbelievable.
like, it's just like, why is who is she?
I asked one.
Fernando Danielle turned.
But
Unbelievable.
I feel like if I were to have picked Fernando Danielle, I wouldn't have made it as far as I did. Like, I wouldn't have won because of the competition that was in his team. And I remember when Lucas Machado didn't pass, his father said, "You better win for the Machados." Because it was like, we would always make this joke like we were related, because all of a sudden I hear, like, I'm watching like all the provas cegas to see who else is in my audition, and all of a sudden I hear Lucas Machado, and I'm like, is he a part of our family? And Mom was like, no. I was like,
You sure?
I thought that's.
okay.
I didn't think that's where you're going. I thought you were going to go. If Lucas Machado doesn't win, o pai dele disse: agora vais trabalhar para o campo. And that's my dumb joke for the day. So, Julia, it was a very nice meeting you. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
and joining the Tasca Lusa podcast
Never
family.
interviewed a star before. I feel privileged right now.
You should. I'm trying to think. Okay, so this comes out before. We also have a couple of announcements. We have the bike fundraiser. That shirt right there. Also posted on our page about the event. If you could do it, donate. That'll be great.
It's in
It's for
October.
a great cause. Obviously, October is coming up. It's Breast Awareness Month. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So please donate to them as much as you can. Obviously, we have other events as the anniversaries that I said last week. So
last
check
week
our
this week,
page as much as you can. That's it.
Anything else, Anibal?
No, I'm good.
Marcus.
Before I say something,
I just want to say thank you so much for today.
Of course.
Of course.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
Thank you, Mom. I appreciate
Mom.
bringing the daughter and talking to me
The
throughout
mama
these
joke.
weeks. I know you had Arizona and all those places, so it's very exciting news, and hopefully best of luck on your career.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Onde se fala da cultura de Portugal. Eventos, música e comida a brilhar. Lugar de amor pela nossa terra natal. Tasca Lusa, o coração de Portugal. Vem ouvir, vem sonhar. Com a Tasca Lusa a nos encantar. Descobrir as raízes a brilhar. Com a alma lusitana a vibrar. As ondas do podcast ecoam a nossa voz para falar do fado, das festas e muito mais a sós. Descobrindo tesouros escondidos ao som da nossa voz. Tasca Lusa, um refúgio de luz e paz. Cada episódio uma viagem sem fim. Vem ouvir, vem sonhar com a Tasca Lusa a nos encantar. Descobrir as raízes a brilhar com a alma luz e estar a vibrar. Vem ouvir, vem sonhar com a Tasca Lusa a nos encantar. Descobrir as raízes a brilhar com a alma luz e estar a vibrar. Vem ouvir, vem sonhar com a Tasca Lusa a nos encantar. Descobrir as raízes a brilhar com a alma luz.